Does the Rodecaster Pro suck? Or is the Rodecaster Pro any good? If you're anything like me and truly believe that audio is not 50% of video, but more like 75% of a video's quality, and you do more than just a face on camera, or you include any kind of music like most churches and live or even recorded events do, then you really need to watch this video to find out why the Rodecaster Pro sucks so much. I'm Turbo the Tech Nerd, and it's time to get turbocharged. First of all, let me tell you how much I love the Rodecaster Pro before I tell you why it sucks for me. Why does the Rodecaster Pro suck so much? Keep watching and you'll learn exactly why I feel that way about a piece of gear that I love so much. The Rodecaster Pro is an extremely fantastic piece of gear. You can shape any microphone to sound however you want it to sound. If you like a more booming sound like I do, then you can use the big bottom settings and have enough bass to shake your viewers to the core. If it's a noise gate you need to get rid of that background fan or other motorized gear in your studio that you just can't get rid of, like a furnace or air conditioner, then certainly the Rodecaster Pro can do that too. In my case, I happen to have 2 electric heaters and a humidifier to protect my expensive guitars in this room, and you aren't listening to the Rodecaster Pro. But you are listening to my new audio interface, and if you stick around and watch the entire video, I'm going to show you what's new in the studio. The Rodecaster Pro can connect up to 4 separate microphones, and that's perfect for a podcast where you can have your cast in the room with you. If you can only do remote podcasts and your guest happens to be 1,000 miles away from you, then don't worry, because the Rodecaster Pro can take a direct phone connection or via Bluetooth if you happen to be a wireless kind of person. You can even input your computer and play live audio if you wanted to share that with your listeners or viewers. You can even record everything you do to a micro SD card, which would be handy for many of you, because you can record video and audio in 2 different locations. Frankly, this is the best way to do it, since most every camera microphone literally sucks. This way you could even make a relatively inexpensive mic like the Rode Pod mic sound great. It sounds good on its own, but it sounds great with the Rodecaster Pro. If there are all these great features, then you may want to know why it sucks to me, right? It sucks because I previously had the Rodecaster Pro and a Mackie FX8 at the same time, and every time I wanted to karaoke or have a live performer in the studio, I would have to switch all my settings on my computer inputs and outputs to the correct ones, then change which board to use in that particular Zoom call or live YouTube setup. And let me tell you how that can bite you in the butt really hard. Last week, I had a prominent Canadian rock legend, Robert Laidlaw, in my studio, and I thought I had it all set up properly to be live cast to the interviewer, where Rob would just sit in the chair and talk, then play and sing. Well, let me tell you how disastrous that was. I had not set everything correctly, and the audio that the show was receiving was not from Rob's mic or guitar. It was from a studio mic that was all the way across the room, and it sounded terrible. I've never been so embarrassed in my life, since I try to take great care in what I put out. My Rodecaster Pro is now for sale, and I'll leave the link to that video in the description below, as well as links to buy the Rodecaster Pro, Rode Pod mic, and whatever else I've mentioned today that will take you to Amazon, where I can make a small percentage with my links. I'm getting closer, not there yet, but I'm definitely getting closer to my 1,000 subscribers, and it's getting closer for me to be able to give away the Rode Pod mic I promised. So be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to pick a lucky winner that lives in North America with all the shipping and import fees covered by the channel. That because of that embarrassing episode, I went out and bought a new audio interface that can handle 20 inputs, can do onboard recording, has a built-in EQ and channel effects that I can save individually per channel. Plus, it can be used for live performances such as karaoke or live music shows to air, or to a crowd if you use a PA system like I do. What did I buy? Check this thing out. I bought a Zoom L20 and it easily handles all 12 mics at the same time, which leaves me room for 8 more inputs, and it accepts my computer audio and my phone audio, and I can control the whole thing from my iPod from anywhere in the room. And to top it all off, I connected it to my PA system and my DAW, which in my case is Studio One Professional. So now any effects I add, such as noise gates and reverb, literally whatever you can do in a recording studio, can now feed live to my video recordings like this one right now. Does the Rodecaster Pro suck? No, it's awesome, but it sucks for me. Don't forget to check out my other video on the Rodecaster Pro settings for the Shure SM7B, and this mic over here, the Sennheiser MKE600, where I do my audio from the table over there. And please don't forget to subscribe, throw some love at the channel by throwing a like on this video. And of course, I want to hear from you in the comments below to tell me which video you want to see next.